Hi, I'm Matt from Black Box Mind, and this is the final video in the Principles of Multimedia Learning mini-series. Seriously, if you've watched them all so far, hats off to you, you have my utmost respect. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the imaging principle. Let's get this finished. Let's imagine for a moment that there's a guy who has a load of different videos covering, let's say the principles of multimedia learning. His videos are okay at best and he spends a load of time on screen talking. If he's explaining a lot of ideas and concepts, do you think it would be best if he spent most of his time talking on screen? Or do you think it would be best for him to include relevant animations and on-screen graphics to illustrate what he's talking about? This is where the imaging principle comes into play, and this principle states that people do not necessarily learn more deeply from a multimedia presentation when the speaker's image is on the screen rather than not on the screen. The experiments actually tested for a static image of a character on screen. And the results from these experiments showed that having this character on screen was actually a bit of a distraction for the learners. My personal thoughts are that people are naturally drawn towards watching faces. It's in our human nature to observe people closely to kind of get a deeper understanding of who they are and what they're saying. Let's imagine you have a diagram on screen that you want your learners to pay attention to, as well as yourself talking on screen. I believe that people would be mostly drawn towards watching you, the speaker, rather than paying attention to the diagram. But again, this is my personal opinion. So, for the imaging principle, think about when you're going to appear on screen and not appear on screen as well. For example, in this mini-series, I've always tried to appear on screen to talk directly to you, the learner. And typically, this is when I'm introducing or concluding a video, telling a story to explain a scenario, or just telling a bad joke. Otherwise, I try to show on-screen graphics and animation that conveys what I'm saying as clearly as I can. Let me know in the comments if you think I've achieved this throughout this mini-series. And that's about it for the imaging principle. But before I finish this mini-series, I just want to make a few closing comments. Firstly, these principles are just that, foundational propositions for using multimedia to help with learning. This doesn't mean that you have to use all the principles all the time in every video that you're ever going to make ever. Instead, it helps to have an understanding of them all so you can cherry pick the ones that you think most apply to the videos that you're in the process of making. By thinking about and using these principles time and time again, you'll become more and more familiar with them and when it's best to apply them. Again, these are guidelines for steering you in the right direction and not a planned out route for guaranteed learning success in your educational videos. And there we have it, the end of the Principles of Multimedia Learning. I hope that this set of videos is a helpful resource that you can use time and time again. Next up for Black Box Mind though, I'm really excited to be sharing with you some of the new videos that I've been working on. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.